And now, your Pickle Gals.
Hi, Pickle Gals. Here we are again. It is season 2, episode 6 of the Pickle Gals podcast. My name is Krishan Spackman.
And I'm Rachel Roney.
And together we are the
Pickle Gals. It's
hard Here we are, ready to go. So, hey, like I said, it's season 2. This is episode 6. And if you've been following us for the last 2 years, usually we're about to wrap up our season. However, we are super excited to say that we are going to extend season 2 for the most amazing reason. And that is we are actually having some amazing people and entities reach out to us, yes, us, and asking to be on our show. So that has been really exciting. Sneak peek, we have the CEO of Court Reserve, the software that's very common for entities to use, pickleball facilities to use. So we are working with them to have them on the show. So just know that we are going to extend the season. Happy and excited to do so. But for now, we are on episode 6, and we are extending another welcome to a great couple of people this time. From the Cville Smash in Charlottesville, Virginia. And I'll leave it at that while we welcome them to the show.
All right. Welcome, Colleen and Lauren. By the way, I love the Cville Smash name. It's awesome. But yeah, just to kind of kick things off, I know it's the first dedicated indoor facility in Charlottesville, which is huge. And also the founders are both females, which is awesome.
Ooh.
So excited to highlight you guys today. Talk about, I mean, you guys are in it. You just opened recently. So before we jump into all that and what you're creating, tell us a little bit about you individually. How did you get started in pickleball? How did we go from maybe picking up a paddle to where we are now?
Well, first, thanks so much for having us and for the work that you guys are doing, and for engaging with us to talk a little bit about how we got here. But Colleen and I, as Colleen would say, everything goes back to lacrosse, and she'll tell her story here in a second. But our daughters played high school and club lacrosse together, and that's how we know each other. And I am a small business entrepreneur and consultant, and Colleen has been a Division I lacrosse coach for her career. And over a couple of bottles of wine and a bonfire one night, we were like, what are we going to do with our next phase of our life? Our kids are grown and leaving us and don't need us as much anymore. And we started talking about pickleball. And I'll let Colleen take it from there.
Well, I was playing a lot of pickleball, and I said, well, why don't we start an indoor pickleball? Why don't we build an indoor pickleball facility? Because everyone that I play with complains about how we have no indoor. And then I just I was listening to everybody, and I knew, finances were an issue and that kind of stuff. But I pitched it to Lauren, and we have a community partner in Chris Crater, who is involved with a lot of different businesses in town, and we kind of pitched it to him, and he's one of our mentors through this process, and he thought it was a great idea and stood behind us, and we just went for it, basically. But I do want to just say, you said you love the name Cville Smash. I will say that was probably our first debate.
Oh, really?
Oh,
no,
yeah.
That's interesting.
Well, it took us.
And that's saying it kindly. We went round and round about the name and what we're going to name this place. So
I almost quit the business before it was a business.
Hey, I have a real quick question. So you went how many bottles of wine to come up to decide to do it? And did we graduate from wine to a different beverage when we were debating the name of the facility?
We're not really sure how many bottles of wine, but Colleen drinks white and I drink red. So we knew it was 2.
Well, you knew it was in trouble.
At least 2.
Yeah, I mean, we went around and around about the name. All of our kids, everyone had it seemed like everyone that we were friends with and our families all had opinions, and it just kept going around and around and around. And then we finally kind of decided on Cville Smash, but we also, half of us wanted smash Cville. And so that was another debate. So, but we kind of landed on Cville smash, and we're super happy about it.
Yeah.
Well, I think you more than kindly landed on it. You're it.
We landed.
You're there.
Yeah, we're
17 days there, I hear.
Yeah. 17 long
we've been open.
days.
Yeah, 17 days. We've been open, 2 years in the planning process, and we're finally doing it.
Yeah.
Well, I have a question. So if we're kind of moving right into this facility, so just so everybody's clear, it's Charlottesville, Virginia. It's the first and only, I think, at this time, indoor facility in that entire area. So near UVA, if you're familiar with the area, Carter's Mountain, lots of different reasons to come to Charlottesville, but now you have the only reason you really need, right? Cville. So to your process, wow. So what kind of challenges did you come across in that 2-year period? And were there surprises as well as just challenges?
Well, the biggest surprise was how long it takes to get something like this actually done. The challenges are pretty obvious, right? If you're going to do indoor, you need a large space, you need high ceilings, you need parking, and you need finances. And so there were some really big challenges there without, starting from scratch and building your own space. So we also knew there was somebody on our heels. So there were other people that were talking about doing this in Charlottesville. And so there was somebody else kind of coming behind us and looking for space. Unfortunately, we got in there first. We know that Charlottesville will support, our facility. But if there was going to be a large competitor in the area, then that was going to be hard. There's a lot of other indoor courts at clubs that have, their tennis courts that are lined, but there's no dedicated indoor pickleball in Charlottesville.
Yeah, and how many courts are at the facility? What kind of, if you had to describe the space that you've created, because I've been there, it's got some beautiful sort of side spaces for things in the gym. Just kind of talk about that conception.
Well, we have 9 indoor courts, and we have what we call 3 different event space areas that you can. We have couches and lounge areas. We have a cafe area where you can sit and you can eat. We have dartboards and ping pong, and then, just kind of loungy type areas that you can hang out in. We also have 2 shower rooms, and we also have a little gym area where you could, we have 2 treadmills, 2 bikes, a Stairmaster. We have a dink wall. So we added a couple different perks. So we kind of want people to come in and be able to do a bunch of different stuff and don't feel like they have to leave. We have just enough food. We have grab and go, and we have we're cooking, lunch and dinner. And it's not a big menu, but it's like flatbreads, giant soft pretzel, tater tots, chicken wings, that kind of stuff. But I think when we were building this and we went to a lot of different places, like Lauren said earlier, we went to a lot of warehouse places, and then we went to a lot of kind of heavy restaurant pickleball places. And we knew we wanted a little bit of both of that. We didn't want a heavy restaurant. We didn't want to run a restaurant, but we knew we needed food. And we knew that we wanted lounge areas and a place where you could relax. But we also wanted very, very much top of the line pickleball, where it's very serious pickleball. So we wanted that combination, and we feel like we did a really good job with that. I feel like you can play high level competitive pickleball with a great floor, great nets, great fencing. The lighting is superior. It's indirect. The lighting's awesome. It's awesome. It's indirect lighting, which is not cheap, but the pickleball playing experience is superior. And then you can get off the court and you can enjoy a nice beer or a nice glass of wine, and on a comfortable couch with soothing lighting, with nice music playing in the background. So we really wanted that in that environment, and we feel like we achieved that.
As you guys know, there's all levels of pickleball players, right? And Colleen is a very competitive pickleball player.
No way.
And I'm a very social pickleball player. And so we really wanted to make sure, we had a path to play for everyone, a comfortable space for everyone. And our programming also reflects that, which I'm sure we'll talk a little bit about. But we wanted to make sure we had really good pickleball courts and fencing and lighting, as Colleen mentioned, but also have great hangout, create social environment. We want to build a community. And that is what Charlottesville is about. It really is a community. It's a large, small town. You don't go to the grocery store in your pajamas because you're definitely going to see somebody that you see somebody. But we wanted to capture all of that. And we are really, really happy with how the space came out, how the courts play, the lighting, our entertainment and event spaces, all of that.
Well, it sounds like the community will really appreciate it, because what I'm hearing is this true opposites attract in business partners. I'm hearing white wine, red wine, social player, competitive player. And so I can kind of envision the conversation for 2 years trying to figure out and find that middle ground and that happy space. So that's awesome. And, I think about when you mentioned having some food and some drink, and I know when I go to places, I love having that available to me. And I think at the same time, you have those restaurant. We had a podcast last year about entertainment, we called them, and they have their own special, unique kind of. It's more about that than it's kind of like restaurant that happens to have pickleball is kind of a common thing. And so when I think about having to have that, if you're really trying to be more pickleball with food versus food with pickleball. There aren't parks and recs where parks and recs is where this game started, so to speak, or blew up during COVID and after COVID, and there aren't places to eat and drink there. So having, to your point, Colleen, having enough, having something, having an option, because I kind of hear that people go for an hour and stay 3 or 4 hours, and all of a sudden they might be hungry. So I agree with you. I think having enough is a great compromise. Smart in business as well as satisfying the community. And Charlottesville is definitely a big community in a small town, or however they say that. Sounds like you guys are spot on with that. So you talked about offerings and coaches and things like that. So can you kind of walk us through, like, how do you decide how many employees or what positions to open with? Coaches, curriculum, and before I let you jump right into that, I just want to tell our listeners, Colleen is actually working. I think Lauren's on vacation. I don't know what Lauren's doing. Colleen is working at the facility right now. So if somebody may come in and need her, and if she disappears, we'll just talk about her. So just a heads up to the listeners if that happens.
We're laughing because this is the first week that we gave each other a day off, right? Where we each cannot come to the building one day during the weeks in our 17 days.
Boundaries. That's good boundaries.
Yeah, boundaries.
Because it is tough. I mean, I'm at the facility that I'm at right now. It is really hard when you're making a community to then separate some of that time, I think. So
it's really hard. And you talked a little bit about staff and we have some people, that we've hired. Obviously, we hired our pickleball director, which was our most key hiring. It's just Lauren and I, and then Bryce Baxter, who ran Bangers and Dinks for the last year and a half. Is now our pickleball director. So, between the three of us, we're pretty much, one of us is always at open and closing. So it's been hard for all of us, but we've been doing, we knew it was going to be hard, and we've hired some part-time people to help us with the desk, but it's not brain surgery, but there's a lot to learn. The software, we're trying to sell memberships, and it's hard to sell it if you're not here and understand all the levels and the passion that goes behind it. So when Lauren and I and Bryce are here, we can really sell our vision to people and answer everything. So we're trying to get some other people involved, other employees, so that we can take some time off. But for now, we're doing a lot of the heavy lifting. But it's good. I mean, we're the ones that have the vision. We're the ones that have the passion, and we're the ones that can sell it. And so that's what we're doing. So it'll be.
And I would also say, going back to, different personalities. And we all know that you succeed in life when you surround yourself with people that have strengths that maybe you're not as strong in. And, you know, I'm very operations and business, and Colleen is all sales and membership and programming. And Bryce has done the programming before. He is creative with lots of great ideas. And so kind of settling into those roles and bringing different strengths to the table has been amazing. But we're still learning some of the things in that building. We're still trying to listen to members because we, you know, started with well over 100 members when we opened, which was amazing through pre-sales.
Yeah, awesome.
But we're still listening to those members and trying to refine systems and programs and what do they want. And because we want them to love our building and be in there, and we need their feedback. So that's got to be the three of us there interacting day to day, you know, with all of those folks until we really get it right.
Yeah, well, for what it's worth to the listeners, I can vouch firsthand that Bryce knows what he's doing, and he's also been through almost 2 years of hands-on, lots of hours, building curriculums, testing things out, seeing what works. I was the head pro at his last facility. So he was there. I was there when they made that hire in Bangers and Dinks, and he was making the commute all the way from Charlottesville. So I think it's fantastic. I did not know that. So I think it's fantastic that he now has this opportunity with a lot more experience under his belt too. And to do it, you know, right there in Charlottesville. And I remember when he got certified, so I know he's a certified coach too. So that's a phenomenal hire. I don't think that's incredibly common at the start of a brand new facility. So that's an incredible hire. So
if it wasn't,
so fortunate.
I don't know what we could do. I don't know what we just wouldn't have. I don't know what we would have done if it wasn't for Bryce. Like him knowing. Because I do think he went through a lot at Bangers and Dinks, like he had to really, really work hard there and be able to pivot constantly. And so his knowledge is priceless to us. I think like Lauren said, we all kind of have our roles here, and without him, we'd be in big trouble.
It would be a whole lot.
I like what Lauren said. Yeah. Like the strengths-based approach is key, right? No one even us, we have a few more staff, but you're doing so much all the time. You have to put people in key positions where their strengths lie. So it sounds like that's exactly what you guys are doing to kind of maximize your output, which is awesome. And one question I kind of had, because I think it's interesting in the pickleball industry, whether it's facilities or other types of programs, is there's this rush to be first sometimes, but I kind of look at it now as you don't have to be first necessarily. You need to have the quality. And I wonder from your perspective, because you mentioned there was another game in town and it was kind of like that push-pull. Do you feel like because you had some extra time though too, you were able to kind of do more research and figure out what other people, like even us, did wrong or would have done differently that helped you in that process?
Yeah,
Well,
Go
ahead, Colleen.
I mean, I think we did a lot of research. We talked to a lot of people, and, you know, we talked to you guys a lot at Performance, and it was super helpful. I mean, I think we asked every owner, we asked everybody that would actually talk to us, like, what would you do differently? What was your first hire? Like, those questions were invaluable. Like, what was your first hire? How much do you pay them? You know, and everyone was pretty good for the most part. And then we took a lot of pictures. And we looked around and we're like, oh, we like that. We don't like that. Like we just asked a lot of questions and we went to a lot of different facilities. Like we went to City Pickle in Central Park and we talked to the two women. Those two women inspired us early on. Yeah. You know, they were two women that were really good friends that basically started City Pickle out of their kitchen. And they were like, you guys can do this. They were super helpful, just more like, oh my God, if we can do it, you guys can do it. And I think what we got from them, they had resources, they had money. Their husbands had backed them pretty heavily. So I don't know if it was any, I mean, obviously it takes a little pressure off, but we had that too. Like we knew we had the resources behind us, maybe not as much as them, but we knew we had just enough money to do it right. Like we knew we had enough money to buy the best lighting that we possibly could. And it was up to us to do the research to get it, which was hard, but we knew we had enough money to get the best flooring, the best fencing, and the best lighting. And so that took a lot of pressure off us. We just had to do our due diligence and find, okay, what are the best? And we didn't have endless amount of resources, but we knew that we had enough to get the right stuff, to put high quality in here. And that's always really, that just, you're going to build a high quality facility, they'll come,
You could go to bed at night when you know you've done it right.
Yeah,
Right.
Once we get people in here, we know we can get them. We just have to keep building it and getting more people here. But we know when they walk in this door that we believe in the product that we built.
Perfect.
I would add that, so to go back to your question, Rachel, is we got the space. And once we knew we had the space and we knew what the other options were in Charlottesville, we then knew we could be the first because it was the best space for them. And the other spaces had other intricacies that weren't going to work for this kind of operation. Mm-hmm. And so then we allowed that deal to unfold. As our mentor, Chris, would say, a good deal takes a long time sometimes, and you've got to be patient and you have to do it right. So that was unfolding, and Colleen was like, we're hitting the road. We're going here, and we're talking to that person, and we're going here. And then we started really researching, huge spreadsheet, looking at membership models and how people were doing that, and gathering data. And so we had that time where there was that the deal was kind of evolving, that we had time to research. And we knew once we started construction, the time was going to go away. And so we had to really dig in, gather all our resources. And then we had a book of connections, people that took Colleen's call anytime. John took Colleen's call all the time to help us. And those people that were willing to just guide us along the way and help us with questions. So having the time to really do it right and ponder and think about decisions and models was huge.
I got just a quick follow-up. This wasn't something that I really kind of thought about as I thought about the podcast today, but you started talking about people that really were there for you and mentors and that helped you and were pretty transparent from what I can tell. And it made me think of the game of pickleball. The idea, there's still like X number or percentage of folks that are big on giving back and building up. And then there's still that large group of, and I'm talking players, right? Players that are tight to the chest and, they got to 4-0 or 4-5 and above, no. And so was it kind of like that? Did you have kind of that same like business experiences that you did as you do kind of that player model? Or did you feel like most everybody was just like build up, community, give back?
I felt like everyone was, for the most part, pretty giving. There was a few people that weren't as giving, like some owners, because they wanted to they were like, well, if you want me to help you, actually, I am starting my own business to help people start businesses. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm not really interested in that because I think there's enough people out there. Like the people, I had a colleague, a lacrosse coach that retired, and she runs a pickleball place in Ohio, in Columbus. So that was like, I was like, oh God, Amy, like I know her from lacrosse. So I was able to, we went and visited her for 2 days. Like that was easy. She gave us everything. And then another lacrosse buddy, it was her sister-in-law that owns City Pickle. So she was willing to meet with us and talk to us. And then John from Richmond, and then Rachel, like John, like what I loved about certain people were that when I asked them a question, they weren't like, John could have been weird about it because we're close to them. Sure. Like we're the closest proximity. I don't think we're competitors, but we do share some clients, I would imagine. Mm-hmm. So, but he was never weird about it. And when I asked him about money, it wasn't because I wanted to know what he was spending or whatever. He knew I was asking because I needed to know from a professional standpoint. When I said, how much do you pay them? He gave me the numbers. When I said, how much was your fencing? He gave it to me. And it was so helpful to hear, so we knew when we were getting ripped off or it was too much or something like that. It was so helpful when he gave me real numbers. I'm like, thank you. Because I wanted
to tell a story that just happened in our building. So of course we're building programming. And so you don't have enough like 4 courts full of open play yet, right? For some of our sessions, because we're still building stuff. And goodness knows the weather has been beautiful. So people are still playing outside.
Of course.
Right? But going back to your comment about, and John is a great example. There are so many people that want to build the pickleball community and grow pickleball. So we had some pretty good players on a court, and I had 2 beginners come in this past week. And pretty good, and they were all signed up, paying the same amount of money for this open play. And the experienced players rotated those beginners in and taught them and took them under their wing. And one of our hourly staff said that would only happen in pickleball. You know, it would only you can get, you can have really experienced players that don't mind playing and showing beginners the ropes. It was really cool. And I think that back to all of the people that spent time talking with us, just a genuine interest in growing pickleball, getting more people interested in playing.
Well, that's refreshing to hear and reassuring, because in the community as a whole, we still sometimes have that. It's hard to break into groups. So it's very refreshing to hear that. And I know that I want to make sure we have plenty of time yet to kind of dive into you mentioned memberships a few times. So one of those decision points, right? At least in the little bit I've been involved in with opening clubs, that decision point of, are we membership? And what about guests? And what kind of tiered memberships? And what perks come with this package or that? So how did that come about? And you are a membership-based club, and I'm sure allow guests to come in some form or fashion as well. But can you kind of talk about the offerings? Because what I'm hoping is we're going to get people that live in your area, who live near your area, because on the other side of Charlottesville, away from Richmond, there's absolutely no place to play. But there are people who want to play. So I think you probably have to go to Wintergreen almost. So we'd love for those people in Charlottesville, but around Charlottesville, and then people who are visiting, because there's all kinds of people traveling, asking, where can I play? Love for them to learn about this even better through our podcast, but learn more about it. And in doing that, kind of understand a little bit about your membership offering before we let you run out of here and continue with your day 17 of your grand opening.
It was really important that we had a path to play for everyone. So both membership, and you don't have to be a member to play in our building. It was really important. Colleen from the beginning was like, I want anybody who comes, and Colleen travels and plays in a lot of places. So she wanted to be able to have anybody who wanted to come into our building have a path to play there. Colleen, I'll let you talk a little bit more about the memberships.
Yeah, I mean, the memberships, it was harder. It's probably harder than you think. Like, because I looked on so many websites, went to so many places, and I basically just made it like a spreadsheet and just started writing down, the name of the place, the state, like the address, and just tried to pick like some pickleball places near universities, some pickleball places in cities, some pickleball places in kind of like suburbia, like different areas, and then just started writing down like their price points. And honestly, it was like most places have a common theme, but they all are a little different. Like everything's just a little bit different. And I'm like, oh, so we didn't copy off of just one place. And we really, like, obviously Richmond was our closest. So, but it's also a city, but we're Charlottesville. We're not as big, but we are a little bit more, we have UVA here. So our price point can be a little bit higher than maybe like a different, like a Lynchburg or something. Like, so Charlottesville is a little different. So we had to like, okay, what's our mark? We've lived in Charlottesville for a really long time. So we kind of knew the price points and what people are willing to pay as far as for products. But we also had to take into account, they've never had to pay for pickleball. So, so we had to so after doing just a spreadsheet of like all of these different places, we kind of just had to like, okay, let's settle on this. and these are the perks. We wanted it to be simple. We knew that four different packages, like different levels of membership, was not overwhelming. It was just enough, it was enough to give people different variety, but not too much. If you give too much, then they're like, they can't decide. If you give too little, then you lose people. So we definitely decided on 4 different packages, but also adding like some family to 2 of them. And we just stayed with that. And then we just took the most common perks that we thought that most people want. And we kind of did that. And then it took a long time though. It was probably at least 20 conversations of like, okay, what do you think of this? What do you think of that? And looking at people's different websites really, and talking to people, and then knowing our market in Charlottesville. Like we do, like I said, I've lived here a long time. So I do know what people are willing to pay at some level, and kind of like the economic makeup of Charlottesville. So that kind of helped. And then we just went back and forth, and we kind of just settled on it. And then
I laughed because then we put it in front of a couple of experts, right? And one of them was Bryce, and Bryce was like, well, did you think about this? And did you think about that? And what is that?
We're like, no, we didn't.
Yeah.
We thought we were like, we finally got it, that he picked it apart. So we had to go back for one more round of, making it work. But it's a really great options for people that just want to play a couple times a week, to people that want to play unlimited, and lots of opportunities for lessons and clinics and tournaments, and just doing our Monday night Cville Challengers event, or just coming in to do a league, and you don't have to be a member, but if you are a member, you're going to get discounts on some of those things.
Oh, that's awesome. So it sounds like there's what's kind of neat, right, is so Bangers and Dinks was the first one in Central Virginia, right? And so while there were still places you could visit, there's still nothing like the number of places now, and even in the last 2 years, which is about their age. So it doesn't shock me at all to hear the struggle with figuring out, where's that price point, value, return for the consumer that also makes sense on the business side. But it sounds like you've come up with, like you said, your unlimited play and maybe days of the week or times of play. So maybe we can kind of wrap up with what that looks like day to day. So like open play or leveled play or round robins or turn. So what's kind of your mix of what can I come and do on a certain or given period of time when I come to the club?
Well, we have open play running throughout the day, starting with 7 a.m. going all the way till 10 p.m. So we run on 2-hour sessions. So it starts at 7, and like I said, the last session is from 8 to 10, and that's something that we're trying to build. We have over 120 members, but we have a lot of people walking in, but they have to sign up, and if people don't see that someone signed up, then they don't sign up. Then so we're working.
That's always a fun game.
Dance. So we're working on that, and then we have clinics throughout the day, and then we have like Lauren said, our leagues start this week. So this week and next week, so you can jump into a league, and we have 7 different leagues starting. So it's kind of every level, something for every level. And then we actually just implemented, so in the public schools, all the kids are about to have like the Columbus Day off, teacher work day, like all those things. They have Thanksgiving holiday. So we are starting our first kid camp on Monday on Columbus Day. So that's new for us. We're just going to throw them. I mean, I've been working with kids my whole life. So let's get them in here. And between Bryce and I, and Lauren will do arts and crafts. I don't know what she's going to do.
Paint my numbers.
There you go.
He's going to teach them about how to make business.
Yeah, that's fine. We're going to run them. So we started that. So we're doing, we're going to try and just keep coming up with fresh creative ideas as we go, and just build and build and build till we get it right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I can't say enough for any other like people who are thinking about doing this or other operators or owners. It is about listening to the people that are coming into your building, like listening and hearing their ideas, asking them and having thick skin. I've said to them, please be nice to us because we're learning too. But you know, you have to have thick skin, and you want to like hear what they have to say and get good, honest feedback about what they like and what they see that they like and what they don't see that they want. So we're trying to do a lot.
I just go in the back.
Well, that's perfect. That's a perfect segue to how maybe we wrap up our episode today. And that is to somebody watching and listening that has really had the itch or desire to do this or has really thought about doing it. What kind of key pieces of advice would you give them from your 2+ year process now? And to get just to that they should consider, maybe you didn't consider and it was a surprise, or so what would that next person, how could they learn? How could you build them up?
I mean, for me, it was, you know, surround yourself with good people. Like we have 3 people involved. So Lauren has a lot of experience with business, so she can take care of all the admin stuff. And then Chris has a lot of experience with building and contractors and all that. And I don't know what I do, but I would say honestly, like if I can do it, anyone can do it. Now, money, you gotta have the funds, but if you just keep plugging away and you're willing to do research and keep learning, like you have vision, like, and you just have a good work ethic. If you just keep plugging away every day, like we just built a beautiful facility. I've never owned a business in my life, and we're doing it. So, you know, you have good people, and if you work hard enough, you can do it.
That's awesome.
And Colleen,
and like you said,
in our grand opening, Colleen had commented, like, we are just 2 ordinary people who have worked hard our whole life and who have raised kids. And, you know, Colleen was like, to all of the daughters out there, you know, women can do anything that they put their mind to. And I mean, including an amazing 33,000 square foot, 9 indoor court facility with 4 event spaces and everything else.
Sell it, girl.
And we're going to do
Beer, wine.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm ready to book a flight.
Come back, Krishan.
Let's go. You know what?
Rachel, come on over.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll go do a Pickle Gals happy hour at the Cville Smash.
There we go.
That'd be amazing.
I'm down.
Now you're talking my language.
Right on. Well, I tell you what, this is a huge trend right now. The number of facilities across the country, across the globe, is just skyrocketing. I don't know if anyone had a chance to catch any of the pickleball in Asia this past week, but the stands were packed and the enthusiasm was just off the charts. So it tells you that there's so much momentum behind this. What you gals have done to have the idea, bring it to fruition, and deliver with the quality and the feedback and the just the effort to find out what will make this the best and then build it and take that risk. I don't even live in Charlottesville, but I can feel the passion behind it. And I thank you as a pickleball player and coach for doing it and giving people the opportunity to have a place to play. And the more, from my experience, even on good weather days, as they learn more about you and they build that loyalty with you, which I can tell is going to happen, they're going to show up on the good days too, or good weather days also.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, totally agree. I think too, how can people find you guys?
Sorry.
I don't think we mentioned that, but where do they go if they want to figure out?
Cvillesmash.com. Cville smash.com.
Just slow down. There was a whole lot in there. Can't be too easy, can it?
Yeah. It's we're pretty easy to find. We're in Seminole Square Shopping Center in Charlottesville. Most local people know that, not too far from UVA or any of the attractions when people come to visit Charlottesville. And our whole, we didn't talk about this, but our whole plaza is getting redone. So that's really exciting.
Wow.
There's a new business coming to the shopping area. It's been kind of a quiet area for a while. We took over the old Marshall's space. People in Charlottesville remember where that was. And so we are super excited about what's going to happen in that area. So we're going to be part of a huge growth process.
Very cool.
That is super fantastic.
Well, I'll be back soon.
Let me know, Rachel. We'll go get the. Are you red or
Yeah.
white wine, by the
So-
way? I don't even know that.
Red.
Okay, see, there you go. We're both red.
Are you?
We're,
white wine?
we're both red wine drinkers. We can't go to business
Oh.
together. It won't work.
Just a podcast.
And we both love craft beer, so this is just going down here quick.
That's
I think we
true.
better stick with just the podcast. So
Thank you guys so much for doing this and for having us
Yeah,
on
thank you
and
so
for
much.
helping us grow our business in pickleball.
hey, no problem. It's part of the
Absolutely.
Give Back Build Up program, and I'm super excited. I will get up there myself too. Thank you so much for taking the time.
Bring the
to-
rain. Bring the rain. Let
Bring
it
the
rain. Let it rain, baby.
I'll bring a Indian rain dance with me.
Let's go.
So, all right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, thanks so much for being here. Thank you for listening. Stay tuned for more episodes. Don't forget, we'll be on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple. You can find the links on the Pickle Gals Facebook page as well. And we'll share it across all the platforms so that you can find and go visit and play at Cville Smash. And until next time, court is adjourned.
Thank you.